We on? Hey everybody, how you doing? It's me, Wesley Builder Classic, Zazoo Plazz. I back from my Sunday report. Oh, God, the whole day's gone. I'm starting my report. He comes back. He's banging around, taking a shower, making his dinner. So anyway, but I got a little bit of. It's getting dark earlier now. It's September 8th, 2024. Zazoo Plazz report. Feeling pink today. Yeah. See, it's starting to get. It's like what is it? 7 o'clock in the evening. It's already starting to get dark. So it's like getting a little chilly in the evenings, and yeah, it's just I have just a lot going on. It's it's sometimes frustrating because I have all these thoughts in my mind, the ideas between my videos here and my Facebook stuff, and you know, just little things that I pick up and I see, and tarot readings that I get. All of this, it's okay. So this really works out. I just got this. Okay, it's like, and even the song for today was described as the kind of soup that your mother makes and just throws in whatever's in the fridge, and yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's how it's described. The song for today, actually, the band today, which is the Marshall Tucker Band, out of I guess Spartanburg, South Carolina. Um, Sort of a southern rock, country, jazz, blues. A little bit of everything. Somebody said, Doug Gray said the band was described as, bowl of soup your mom cooked and just throw whatever in. And it tasted the way it did, and it was what it was. And that was eclectic, that they couldn't be pigeonholed. And I'm starting with that because that's, it's very, Virgo season is ruled by Mercury. Virgo ruled by Mercury, very mercurial. There's a lot of thinking going on, right? But what I'm being directed to focus on is more of the emotional, you know, solar plexus stuff, which it's very hard for me because my emotions, they come and go. And, but that's, I guess, really, when you talk about, it's a lot easier for me to get into thinking mode than it is to get into feelings. I don't like to get attached to all that stuff. Thus, the song of the week. All right. Um, yeah, but maybe emotions are useful. In that when we're doing something that we really love, if we just follow that feeling of just being in that space of, hey, this is fun. I love this. I love who I am when I'm doing this. I want to do this more, right? So that's the message for today. I'm getting better at this. Like stitching all of my thoughts together, all of the little pieces of the puzzle that is Leslie, but Zazoo. Zazoo Plazz is kind of the destination. So I've been channeling lately. These some lady came through from Sweden. She's doing tarot cards, and she's like, she's really good. I'm like, wow, she nailed it. Uh, you know how there are all these tarot readers now on YouTube, and they're like, oh, if you're seeing this, there's a reason. I've stumbled upon a couple of those. Sometimes they start talking, I'm like, no, right? So that's like my emotions. No, this is fake, right? But the ones that hook me are the ones they just it's something rings true with me, right? Uh, yeah, and so for some reason, I have to start focusing more on my mind is saying, no, I don't know about this. But, my gut says, yeah, I like this. I'm going to go for this, right? And that ties into the readings today, especially reading from, um, Isaiah. So, but all the readings, actually, are requiring us to, at some point, taking a leap of faith, right? Saying, what do I have to lose? Things of this world, um, you can't, in other words, you can't get to a place no one has ever been. Can't carve your own path by judging by what other people are doing, right? If you're the Marshall Tucker band, right, starting out they they paved their own path by doing things their way, and therefore they weren't pigeonholed. They weren't able to be said, well, they're country. Well, no, they're not country. They're rock. No, they're southern rock. Okay, but then there's this thing. They're playing the flute. How many country bands have a flautist? I mean, uh, you know. Okay, so I'll get to the song, but you know, you can't go on appearances. All right, that's another theme for today. 23rd Sunday. I'm just gonna dive right in. Oh, right, Zazoo, you forgot the news of the week. Just what is going on? It was my kid's birthday this week, so I sent him a little e-card. It was his 24th birthday, like on the 5th. So I sent him. I was very proud of myself. Uh, Very simple. I found this e-card with like the Mona Lisa, the painting, because he and his girlfriend have been going to museums a lot. She's an art major. So it's the Mona Lisa talking, and wishing him a happy birthday and wishing him, his fun adventures and this and that. So and then I attached a gift card. It was one of those mega cards. You can use it like every store, every store that's still in business. So I get this text. First I get a text. I said, no, we raised it right. Right after he got it, he said, hey mom, I got the e-card. I get thanks, and then like the next day, I get another text, and he says, oh, hey, your gift card went. I got him. I spent more than I usually spend, but you know what? It felt really good to splurge on the kid a little bit, because I don't know what his dad gave him, but you know, I'm coming. I'm sort of getting the hang of being, just mom instead of mom and dad, and I think he went and spent some time with his dad this weekend, whatever. But and then I got him another present that I said I'll give him another time. But he's like, hey mom, it went to good use. He's like, I bought a vacuum and some electric screwdriver bits. He's true to his Virgo nature. He put it to good use. He bought himself a vacuum. He's over the moon. He's like a pagan, uh, it's pigsty anyway. And he sends me this little jumping dolphin emoji with like a heart, like a glistening, the heart with the stars and everything. And my heart just melted. I said, oh, that's so cute. And I could just see him in his new apartment. It's the first thing I did was buy a vacuum. And you can get one for around $50. The kind that picks up the pet hair, and it's good. It's not the top of the line, but it's the Bissell kind. And then you know how all the furniture needs to be like screwed in. My hand was sore after I got done with all my furniture. So he has an electric screwdriver. So he got some new bits for it because apparently some of the furniture has different, has different parts and stuff. So that was on his wish list. And say what you will about Gen Z, but these kids, they they warm my heart. They really do. He goes and I said, oh, I think Walmart was on that list and some other like Home Depot and it just had a bunch of places. And I thought maybe he'll go, take his girlfriend to a restaurant. No, he bought the vacuum. So anyway, that's my little warm up story for the week. And the other thing, well, I'm into, working on my health right now. So I have some old crappy weights. I don't know. Can I get a shot of those? Here's my workout. Okay, I just want to show you my gym over here. See, here's where I work out. See that? See that? I got my treadmill. I got my 10-pound weights, my 8 pounds, 5 pounds, 2 pounds for kickboxing. Then over here I have my tablet with my videos. Then I have my kettlebells over here. The resistance bands are in the closet. But see these awful looking things right here? These I brought over from the house. The guys used to use. These are 15s and these are 10s. So the plan would be to get rid of those crappy, you know, gray ones. That they're all rusty from being in the basement, from the guys, lifting them for years. Those things are older than my kids. I think my husband got them like when we got married or something. Because he had his stuff. He had when we got married, he brought into the marriage a Nordic track, which if you kids don't, some of you kids don't know what it is, but it was this thing with skis, and you would hold on to these, handles. I got a picture of myself on it in the loft in our old apartment, and you hold on to the handles, and your feet would go like skis, and you could move there was a big pad here, and you lean against it, and you do the, like your skin. So that was his, and I had, well, we got a weight bench. I had some weights, and I had, I don't know, I had some things. I had like some hand weights and some ankle weights, but then later we got a treadmill, so that when we got the house, we got a treadmill so I could run and walk, in our basement. And then when I was pregnant, I just worked out at home and stayed in really good shape. And then I had yoga class. I would go to yoga classes, so I had a yoga mat. Always had a yoga mat. But so that was the story. Oh yeah, so I'm thinking about getting some new, weights, shaking up the workouts a little. You know, I bought a step bench, and it has, you can bring it up to different heights, and you can do like rows on it. You can step up on it, do different heights. It's great. And when I'm standing at my desk, I can do like step ups and dance on it and stuff while I'm working. So there's that. Um, yeah, try different shakes. I'm in the market for a new like NutriBullet thing, whatever. You know, my parents for years they wanted the best. So, health was their thing, right? Nutrition and health. When my mom was still alive, and this was at the end when she could only drink things, you know. Well, at the very end, she had a tube in her stomach, and they had to pipe in special stuff. But for years before that, she switched to like just having shakes and stuff, you know. So they got a Vitamix, which is like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's like $500 blender here. Like, I'm not gonna spend that much money on a blender. I'm like, oh, I can get one of those NutriBullet things because you can take stuff with you. You can. That's what my husband and the ex-husband and the guys got. Um, they could make shakes. You turn it upside down, and then you can just take it and drink it, right? So that's sort of, I'm going in that direction. I'm not gonna get one of those humongous ninja samurai thing. And I don't want it to be too loud either. I don't want to bother people with my shake making. Um, so yeah, and oh yeah, and just under the subject, we're on the subject of creepy things. Um, I went for a walk the other day, and so I usually walk around the corner from my house. It's about a mile, and I walk, just by some houses out of the apartment complex, by the gym. There's a Planet Fitness over there. I walk around, and I walk down to where the river is flowing. Right there's this river. It's nice woods. So I was going to cross and go to the hiking trail, which is by the Hockman River, which goes by down here. It's a step up from the damn swamp where I used to be. So we're improving here. We're getting to flowing water, right? Instead of stagnant water, it's flowing. So anyway, I'm walking down there and there's all these cars backed up, waiting for the light. And all of a sudden somebody starts, going by beeping at me. Like, what the hell? Who's that? And then I see this hand like stuck up through the moonroof of this car that looks strangely like my ex-husband's car. He lives about a mile and a half down the street, about 2 miles. I don't know, in a different town, but he's up the street. Right? How the hell did he know that I was out taking a walk at 3:30, whatever random time I left my house? He's like, oh, I can't even go for a freaking walk. So anyway, you're married 28 and a half years. Maybe these things happen. I don't know. I'll be divorced for almost a year, so there's that. But, I just, is it me? Does he have a tracking device on me or something? It used to happen all the time when we were married. Like his mother would know exactly when we were sitting down to Friday night pizza. And she would always call at the same time. 7:30 on a Friday night when we're, talking about the week, having a glass of wine. Anyway, I digress. Get to it, Zazoo, all right? Okay, get to the readings. Right. Isaiah. I say to the frightened hearts, fear not, be strong. Open the eyes and the ears. The mute will sing. Okay, and I'm thinking, stumping around up there. Shh, shut up. It's the Gen Z tenant above me. Shut up. Yeah, so to me, it's about, opening throat blockages, right? Sometimes, there's something blocking us, whether it's, in different areas of our body. And we can tune in, so to speak, to those areas, right? And our body will tell us, okay, this is what needs, fixing. And so that's okay. So the streams, something about streams in Isaiah caught my attention. And then the Psalms, the word sets the captives free. In other words, I think what that means is, he must have heard me say vacuum. He's vacuuming. Okay, I'm going to try to get through this with the vacuum. It's Sunday night. He's vacuuming. Okay. Oh. I hope you can hear me over the noise of the vacuum. What a good boy. He's doing his housework. Um, he's drowning. He's trying to drown me out. And I'm talking about throat blockages and the mute trying to be heard right. Okay. So the soul has a certain intent, but it might be blocked by things from past lives or our own fears, right? The frightened hearts, right? So what we have to do is, if we have faith, we persevere despite these blockages, right? And then, you know, then we, once we can identify what they are and have great enough, faith in what we can't see or understand or think, then we will get to that point, and then we will get our rewards, right? So, okay, so the book of James, telling us not to judge the book by its cover. He's saying, um, don't just say to the person with the nice clothes, oh, come on over, and the one with the, shabby looking clothes. Get, uh, okay, so in other words, we're judging, aren't we? We're, we're passing judgment on someone before they've even opened their mouth, right? Some people who would see my book when I first published it. Oh, isn't that nice? It's a children's book. It's not a children's book. Because the artist who designed my cover, did my cover, she's a children's book illustrator. But it's not a children's book. It's about embracing your inner child and all that. But it's not a children's book. Just wanted to throw that out there. But some people dismissed it because they thought, yeah, I'm not going to learn anything. This is children's nonsense. No. All right. My next book will have more depth, but it'll still be really, really funny. Just to let you know. Crazy. Can't pigeonhole me, but it'll be funny. Um, and okay, so the book of Mark, chapter 7. So we see that Jesus goes down to the Sea of Galilee, to Decapolis, which in Greek means 10 cities. Deca is 10, and then polis is cities, I guess. I don't know a lot of Greek, so. But it was the Levant section of the Middle East, maybe Jordan area. So there was this thing with, like at the time, it was cool to be Greek, right? All the Jewish people were resisting it, the older generation. The newer generation was like, yeah, we want to do everything Greek. But, the Jews were thinking that these were pagan, the Greeks had Greek gods. They worshipped, they didn't worship the one God according to the Jews, who was the one, their idea of how things should be. They had their own, the Greeks had their own culture, they had their own ways of doing things, and, they had people very interested in that. So there was this tug of war going on, I guess, between these cultures at the time. So that's what Jesus was dealing with. So he went down to this region, and there was this man who was deaf, and he had a speech impediment, because he couldn't hear. So Jesus took him aside, away from the crowd, and put his fingers in his ear, and he spat, and then he touched the man's tongue. Gross, but. And then after that, the man was able to hear and speak normally. And Jesus said, don't tell people. You've been healed, but just kind of keep it, here's how you should act. Don't tell anybody. So what did the guy do? He went and of course he used his gift, right? He was so excited to be able to hear and speak. How could he be quiet? It's the same thing with us. Everybody's got something that, God, if I had this, if I could only do this, if I could only do that, if I could only sing, I would sing from the rooftops, right? If I could only get rid of this guy vacuuming on my head, I would be, exploding here. But I got somebody vacuuming on my head. So I'm going to do the best I can until such time because I realized that I used, oh God, it's already 25 minutes. Okay. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, get to the song. Marshall Tucker Band, heard it in a love song. I got 5 minutes left. I gotta get through this. Um, yeah. Um, God, God chose those poor in the world, rich and famous. Yeah. All right, Marshall Tucker Band, heard it in a love song. It's this guy. Okay, so it came out in March of 77, 1977. I was 11. He said, never had a damn thing, but what I had to leave it behind. These are the lyrics. Um, yeah, he said he likes to keep moving. He's a guy who's, in a relationship, but he likes to keep moving. He likes to think of the next thing. This is like me. Um, from their album, let's see, Carolina Dreams. So they're from South Carolina, Spartanburg, I guess it said. So yeah, I talked about them a little bit. Um, yeah, so this is the connection though. I'm going to share a little story. Yeah, so I did all this. They were, okay, the way they got their name, they're playing and rehearsing in this warehouse. And they're like, what should we call ourselves? So they got this key, and on the key it said Marshall Tucker, right? So I go, who the hell is Marshall Tucker? They found out that the guy who owned the warehouse, who was the previous tenant, was a blind piano tuner named Marshall Tucker. So they went to him and said, hey, can we use your name? And he's like, sure, He said, use your name. I'll be proud of you as long as you're good boys and you play good music. So it's kind of like saying, Jesus, can I go and tell everybody that you're the reason that I can speak and hear and, we've got this good name. It's this Jesus. He's doing good things, Can I tell everybody? And Jesus is like, I wish you wouldn't, or just, as long as you're good and you don't overdo it, don't. In other words, he was looking for people to experience, for people to have faith and believe, um, not just, from like hearing it from somebody. Um, but, think about it. If this guy is going out and telling people, he's doing it out of love, you know, his heart has been opened. In other words, he's he's made it. He's in his promised land, his heaven, right? This guy wants to tell everybody, this is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. He's so it's Marshall Tucker. I heard it in a love song. Well, first of all, the hearing it, and it is a love song. It's when you tell the world what means more to you than anything, that's your love song to the world, right? Um, so this guy is saying, he heard in a love song. Yeah, I heard that that's the way it's supposed to be, right? But this is my song. In other words, he's packing his duffel bag. He's getting ready to leave. If I would have settled down with anybody, it would be you. But he can't. Um, that's what Jesus is saying. To keep it moving. Don't betray yourself, right? Just because you think that that's how it should be. Somebody said this is how you should live your life, right? Somebody said this is. In other words, judging people. Well, this is this kind of band, right? No, not really. That's each of us has our own individual name, right? So that's it for the Zazoo report this week. I see I am running out of time, so I'm gonna go have my leftover clam chowder, and I'll see you all next week. Take care. Have a great week.